tonight and to watch that presentation we all just watched. When I first got elected to local government here in Fairfax County in 1995, nobody was talking about rail to Dulles. It was dead as a doornail. And I promised in that campaign that if I got elected, I would make rail to Dulles my #1 priority as an elected official. And I kept that promise, and I was very proud of the fact that when I got to Congress in 2009, one of the first things I participated in was a federal ceremony to finally sign the full funding grant agreement for this project. And it kind of finally capped the efforts of so many people. And my colleague and friend Kathy Hutchins, who represents this area in the Board of Supervisors, now chairman of Metro, well, you know, she's got the same scar tissue I do in the wars to make this project happen. This is, in my view, without exaggeration, the single most important transit project in the United States today. That's what you're involved in. It is. It isn't just going to have 90,000 passenger trips a day. It is going to transform this corridor, 22 miles, into a transit-oriented development, mixed-use corridor that is going to be like nothing we've seen in the suburbs before. And it's going to create a corridor while preserving the suburban nature of much of this area in Northern Virginia. But this will be an urban corridor. And this will be really where the jobs are located in Northern Virginia. It is no coincidence that in recent years a number of Fortune 500 companies, in anticipation of what you're doing, have moved here. Hilton Hotels moved into this corridor. Volkswagen North America moved into this corridor. SAIC relocated, my former employer, from San Diego, California to Tyson's in this corridor. Northrop Grumman, you may have read, is the most recent Fortune 500 company to relocate its corporate headquarters right in this corridor. There's a reason for that. It's the proximity to the airport. It's going to be the quick ability to move back and forth to the capital city. And it's going to connect communities, Reston and Herndon and Route 28, and of course Tyson's Corner to Falls Church. It is going to be transformative. And it is going to unleash economic energy because we're making this investment. You know, in today's political debate, there's a certain mindless element to some of what we're talking about in terms of spending. And the word investment is almost never used. And let me just tell you, every dime we spend in this project, we will return in economic activity many, many fold. Look at major infrastructure projects in American history. 60 years ago, a Republican president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, had the vision to say, let's build an interstate highway system. Now, it wasn't a transit system. It might have been better if it had been, but that's a different story. But it was an incredible investment of federal money. And it cost money. But you know what? Can anyone even calculate what the economic return on that investment has been? And what a benefit it's been to American competitiveness and economic dominance in the global economy. Because we connected the country through the interstate highway system. This is going to connect the most important economic performer in the national capital region to the entire metro system. And that is critical to the future of our region and to Northern Virginia. That's what you're doing. Now, I have to tell you, it was not easy to get here. It's hard to build it in the cold, in the rain, in the snow, in the heat, blasting away, problems arising. But I can tell you on the political front, to build political will to do this was equally difficult. The world was filled with naysayers who didn't want to do this. We had to put together a special tax district to fund it at the local level. We had it all done. And at that time, Sheila Olam is here from the Town Council of Herndon, but her predecessors decided to veto that uniform tax district. That meant we had to start all over again. And the question was whether we could do it. We had to do it in 2 phases, phase 1 and phase 2, which is why we're building it as 2 phases, by the way. It's dictated by the financing, not by the engineering. But we got it done. And then there was a crowd that decided it would be cheaper to build this underground instead of over. And a whole movement got started, you know, under, not over. And you would hear from citizens, why can't you just build it underground? And of course you'd say, well, because it will cost hundreds of millions of more dollars that we don't got. And we'd love to do it. And oh, by the way, the engineering isn't that easy. We have mixed-base soil at Tyson's, which means, you know, that big borer is creating constant concrete. And it gets more dangerous and all that good stuff. But anyway, we had to fight that for years. And then frankly, we had an administration, in the previous administration, that was hostile to transit. And they put us through hoops and loops and almost killed this project. Without some courageous political figures like former Senator John Warner, Governor, now Senator Mark Warner, Congressman Frank Wolf, in local leadership, myself included, but Kate Hanley and Kathy Hudgens and others, this project would have died. It would absolutely have died. And those folks had the courage to stand up to voices of opposition and to fight the Bush administration to make sure this project happened. So it has a long, long political history. And, you know, we're in the midst of a presidential campaign, and there is one candidate likes to sing America the Beautiful. America the Beautiful was written by a woman who comes from my part of the country, Cape Cod, in Massachusetts, Catherine Bates. And she has a stanza in there about seeing beyond the years. And to think about it, it may not strike you as particularly poignant, but to get political leadership that's willing to see beyond the years, willing to approve things they may never live to see come to fruition, or they may be out of office long. Now, will they ride that first train in relative Dallas? Will they be able to greet that first passenger? Will anyone even remember what they did to make this possible? So each and every one of us in this room had a role to play. And you won't be forgotten. What you did will not be forgotten, because I tell you, in 10, 15 years' time, 20 years' time, there are going to be people looking back on this saying, thank God they did it. Thank God we have it. Because it has so much transformed the quality of life and improved it for everybody in this area. Thank you for what you do. God bless you.